Wanjiru Kihusa is the founder and the CEO of Still a Mom. She's going to be telling us more about what Still a Mom is about. And as we sail through this conversation. So karibu sana Wanjiru. And I think from that point, that's where we're going to start this conversation. What is Still a Mom? And how did this journey begin for you?
So Still a Mom is an organization. Thank you so much, first of all, for having me. I'm really happy to be here, especially in the month of October, which is usually the Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month, but we'll get to that later. But Still a Mom is an organization that's a not-for-profit that supports parents who've lost a child either to a miscarriage, stillbirth, or infant death. So basically, parents here, we mean mothers and fathers, really, just supporting families and sometimes even siblings of children who've passed away. So it began in 2015, but it's probably a little earlier, registered officially in 2015, but I started it in 2014 after we lost our daughter through a late miscarriage in 2013. Yeah.
Poleni sana, poleni sana.
Asante.
Okay, so I think that's now where we get into the thick of things with this conversation. If you don't mind, maybe you can take us through the journey, your journey as a family, and why it was so important for you to begin this organization.
Thank you. So what happened is, like for most people, we got married, and at some point you begin to have the conversation of should we get kids? Tuanze kujaribu, we see how it goes, you know. And up until now, I think I was like 25, 26. To be honest, it's just the biology, you know. People usually have unprotected sex. You get pregnant, and then 9 months down the line, we go to hospital and we come home with a baby. The most I knew was it could be a CS, it could be a normal, a vaginal delivery. We say these days we don't say normal because both of them are normal ways of getting a child, right?
Yeah, they are.
So it could be either way, but at least uta come home na mtoto.
Yeah.
So that's usually the expectation for most people, and even us, it was the expectation.
Yeah.
Except like I had a really difficult pregnancy, so I was completely nauseous, like the excessive one, where, you know, I meet people who say morning sickness, and I'm like, but they nakonga to full day sickness.
It's true. It's true.
It is,
yeah.
Although there are some people who have no symptoms, it's the beauty of the human body.
Exactly.
Yeah? There are people who
some don't know what morning sickness is actually.
And we are happy for them and a little bit jealous.
Yeah.
But so from the get-go, it was difficult. And at 6 weeks, I began to spot. Spotting here is bleeding a little bit. Yeah. And I remember calling my doctor and she said, really, at 6 weeks, come, just come right now. And I had a really good gynecologist, and I'm really grateful to God. She was awesome. She did not make me feel like I was having symptoms that were not serious. She took me seriously. Yeah. So what we need to do is we need to put you on some hormonal meds just to sustain the pregnancy until week 12, when we can know the pregnancy now is safe.
Okay.
So that's what happened. But then to those symptoms of nausea, you know, like I would feel in first trimester, it's like it came back.
Yeah.
Which was a surprise because finally I was eating, finally the symptoms were better, you know.
And that's when they normally wane off.
Yeah, that's the time you're feeling like even smells don't bother you so much.
Yeah.
Kunaka relief, basically.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I had that relief for like 2 weeks and then back to those weird symptoms. And my doctor was puzzled. And then I started to have a fever. So I went to see a doctor, 2-3 doctors. Wanasema hawajui, what's the problem? At the same time, they'd be like, oh, your body you have an infection. We can see your white blood cells are many, but we can't quite tell what specific infection you're fighting.
Yeah.
And that happened for like a month. Then in November, at this point, we were 20 weeks pregnant, 5 months. I just, in the middle of the night, started to cramp. You see, this was my pregnancy number 1. So the best I could explain how I was feeling was cramps. You know, because that's that's what I knew, how
That's
to
what you
cramp. I
know.
didn't know how to
Yeah.
do back then. Yeah. But now, because I'm a bit of a seasoned mom, now I understand. That was
Yeah.
preterm labor,
Yeah.
you know? So we ran to the hospital. We drove to the hospital, mbio mbio. And then when we got there, they took the scan. The heartbeat was okay, but the baby was in distress. Now, remember, at 20 weeks in Kenya, we still call it a miscarriage. And I'll explain why. Because
Yeah.
some countries call them different things.
Okay.
Because they have technology. For us in Kenya, mtoto akazaliwa at 20 weeks, hawezi survive. We don't have the machinery, the technology to sustain that life. Yeah. So for us, we define a stillbirth to be from 28 weeks of life. Yeah. Because at that time tunaweza mweka kwa incubator, tunaweza fanya kangaroo mother care, tunaweza fanya vitu kadhaa za kufanya huyo mtoto survive. But 20 weeks is so soon. Yeah. Even in like very high technology countries, it's very hard for that baby to survive. Okay. So unfortunately, at that point, my water broke, and I delivered right there on my bed. I didn't even get a chance to go in the labor room. Oh, wow. And it was a very traumatic experience. And every now and then I go back to that time, and I can remember it feeling like a movie, like it was happening to somebody else and I was watching. Yeah. And I think it's the brain's way of just keeping you numb, so that you process things slowly. But so that's the journey towards starting Still a Mom. Yeah. It was my personal story. And then about 2-3 around that time, I also resigned from my job, and I just couldn't bring myself to go back to work. Yeah. And so I was home and grieving and alone, because of course my husband had already resumed going back to the office. Yeah. And I remember at the time I used to blog. So nikaandika this blog post writing about, losing our baby. It wasn't out of sympathy or anything like that, but it was more to ask, do you guys know of organizations or even places where people go for counseling or anything like this, where people get supported? And instead of getting people who told me, najua hii place, what happened is my inbox just went crazy with all these people who are sharing Me Too stories. Ata Mimi, it happened. My wife, actually last month, my sister, there were all those stories. Yeah. And slowly but surely, my desire just to fix this problem that I was seeing came strongly, and then we began to have support groups. The first year, to be honest, I ran it kininja, like I didn't even have a counselor. My background is not counseling. Now I am trained. Okay. But back then I used to work in IT. Yeah. The only thing is I loved these people. I knew they were hurting. And so all I did was,
you could relate to what they're feeling.
Exactly. So support groups zetu za kwanza zilikuwa to we sit in a circle, we share how you're feeling, what is helping you, what do you do on those days you're having a really bad day, stuff like that. And then now, up until now, when it's a full organization. Okay.
But at that particular time, you said that was around 2015. We are terribly sorry for your loss. But it was around 2015, you say?
No, the loss was 2013. Then I began Still a Mom in 2015.
Oh, the loss was in 2013. So back then, when you searched around, there were no support groups. There were no organizations that were offering this. What of counselors? Maybe directing you to people who actually deal with maternal health, maternal mental health. Were there?
They were. I remember I actually called a money counseling center. It's a school, it's a college for counseling. Yeah. And I remember they said, yes, we have counselors, and sometimes they will have a client who has gone through, they've lost a child. Yeah. And so we cater to them, but we don't have like a group. And I remember to date, I don't remember who I spoke to, and I have worked with them now for the last couple of years. Yeah. But whoever I spoke to told me, start something and we'll see how we can support you. But so there were individual, like you could go for therapy, just you and the counselor. Yeah. But there weren't support groups. And even me, the only knowledge I had about support groups was what you see in movies. AA, my name is so and I'm an alcoholic. Yeah. Yeah, but I knew Nimali, people come and they share, and then it's called peer support. You support one another, even when there's no counselor in your midst.
All right. So how dire is the situation in Kenya? Is there are there organizations that now you can actually rightfully say they are supporting ladies or women who have gone through that, or for now you are doing this by yourself and trying to get other people running?
I'm really proud to say there's so much progress. Like in the last 8 or so, in the last 6-7 years, there's been mad progress, and I'm so proud of us as a country. When I started, it felt like speaking, like, first of all, it felt like you were sharing very personal information, eh?
Right,
Kuna
right.
watu walikuwa wananiuliza, mbona unashare maneno ya bedroom yenyu? Like it felt like I was all alone, speaking very personal matters that were usually very taboo.
Yeah.
But then, like, I know right now at the top of my head, I know 3 more organizations.
Okay.
Empower Mama, there's another one called Missing Peace KE. There's another, like, some of them are online, others are offline. Right now, I know counselors we have worked with who offer that as a service on purpose, deliberately. Not just that one client that comes. Okay. So there has been really, really good progress.
Yeah.
And additionally, there's the power of the media. I'm really grateful because I got a lot of support from the media, like what you're doing today. Yeah. Sometimes you wonder, does it matter? Does it help?
Exactly.
It does, because early on we would ask people, how did you hear about Still a Mom? Mtu angekwambia niliwaona Facebook, nilikuwa na TV, But like over the last 3 years, when you ask somebody, how did you hear about Still a Mom? Watakwambia, a friend of mine referred me to you. And that's a very powerful thing.
Very, very.
That means walikuwa wanakunywa chai mahali wakidiscuss, and then that person maybe shared that this is what I'm going through. Na mabeshte wake wakamwambia, by the way, enda uone a professional. That's a very serious change of, like, it's a shift in people's perspective, because nowadays we respect counseling. Kitambo ilikuwa tu kitu like, why should I go talk to a counselor?
Ukionekana ukienda kwa counselor, mtu anasema, kwani umeanza kuchizi? We had that.
Kuna mashida mingi sana.
Kuna mashida mingi. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And what is the place of that kind of therapy when a woman is dealing with infant loss, pregnancy loss? How important is it not to put that into heart? There are people who wanasemanga, this happened to us, me and my husband, so we can talk about it, we see how we can deal with it, the two of us. How important is it to look out, to get support from other people?
That's a really good question. There are two things that I insist on. Number one, I am aware that counseling is expensive. Yeah. And because we are non-profit, recently we have not had funding, so we are struggling to offer free. But there's a time when you could attract funding and you could tell that person, kuja tu, But I'm aware that, these counselors also need to feed their families, right? So It can't be zero bob.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I encounter somebody who is not able to come for counseling right now, I ask the very next question is, what is your support system like?
Okay.
It's a very crucial to know, who is this person surrounded by? Sindio?
Yeah.
Na pia sisi tunajuanga, like, do you have people you can go lay bare how you're feeling, and there's no judgment? Sindio?
Yeah.
Even men,
a safe space.
Sindio?
Yeah.
Exactly. We all need an environment. Naeza come hapa niseme, I am contemplating suicide. Na hamta panic.
Yeah.
Sindio?
Yeah.
Na watu wata chap wa figure out how to help me out. So that's very crucial.
Yeah.
So number 2, there's always a place for professionals. You see, the thing is, talking to a counselor is not like talking to your BFF. It helps that you have a BFF.
Yeah.
Ni kama step 1.
Yeah.
But step 2, when grief can be very complex, and we process grief in very different ways. And there are so many factors.
That's true.
Like now, the guy behind you, see, men, right? Men process just gender. Ukileta tu gender.
That's
sindio?
Yeah.
Gender, watu wana processing grief kitu tofauti, sindio? Na tusifikirie tu kulose mtoi, hata kulose job. Let's say, for example, umeambiwa kesho uskam.
Yeah, ata process differently. Yeah.
Na yeye ataenda, alafu ata akienda kwa boy
Buddha.
Yeah. So unaleta gender, unaleta venye msee labda ali grow up. Kuna watu, by the way, kwao hawakuwa ilia.
Yeah, that's true.
Hakukuwa na room there was no room for any emotions. So ka gumu, sindio? So So then there are people who they grew up in healthy places where if you are feeling a certain way, you could talk about it.
Yeah.
So all these factors, including something we call complicated grief, that maybe you're also processing a different loss that you have never processed, and now this one has ongezed. Let me give you an example. People who they got pregnant, haikuwa mpango. So already the relationship is strained. Aujaleta the fact that they've lost a baby.
Yeah.
So that person is grieving two, three things. Ako peke yake sasa amewachwa juu ako alipata boy. Number 2, she's lost a baby. You see, she's processing two heavy things.
Those are two different things.
Exactly. Then you find maybe somebody who is a victim of rape.
Oh no.
And then they got pregnant. And then they've lost a baby. That's a lot to process. Yeah.
Too much trauma.
There are people who you really, they need to come. They need to go see somebody who is a professional, please.
Yeah.
So they can process, especially when you start to go the direction of self-harm and suicide.
Yeah.
Like you're beginning to feel that hopelessness of life.
Yeah.
Ukishaanza kufikiria baadaye kitu hata hakuna point, afadhali tu mtu adae. Yani you start to encourage thoughts of, then please see somebody.
Okay. See someone, guys. Even if you have a sister or a friend who you have seen going through such kind of emotions, please, there's organizations that like Still a Mom that are willing to support you through your grief, your loss. You shouldn't walk this journey alone, as Wanjiru is rightfully telling us. But do you think our community, we have grown to the point of not seeing a miscarriage or a stillbirth as unajua kitambo watu walikuwa wafikiria wanasema you lost your baby, pengine ilikuwa uchawi, witchcraft, those funny things that people used to think about. Have you encountered that, or are we as a society slowly losing those kind of perspectives?
Okay, first of all, let me add a previous point. You don't have to come to Still a Mom only. Even as we are currently partnering with counselors, but there are even free places. Like I know CTAM has like a place for counselors.
CTAM the church?
Kize has an online, CTAM church. They have free counseling.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's Valley Road, but they have a program specifically for free counseling.
Okay.
There's Akina Amani Counseling Center. These colleges and schools, they actually do therapy at a very subsidized cost. There are even toll-free numbers. Like I know Miss Kize has a call center for counseling. Yeah. So usi panic ati hakuna do. Find help. Whichever. Squeeze at a hospital is a gava, they have counseling.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just wanted to add that, lest it starts to sound like it's unreachable. We don't want somebody to want help and then they feel like they can't afford.
Okay.
So to answer your question, we are getting better. Progress, hatuko hapo bado, but we are making progress.
Yeah.
Like I told you, in 2014, when I started to talk about this, man, like it was such a taboo conversation.
I can imagine.
Then I'd go back to Shag and I would be seen as somebody who is taking my bedroom matters to TV,
there.
Yeah. And then there was the lack of basic understanding of how the female reproductive system works, right? That, including utambiwa, like now there's this condition called SIDS. It means sudden infant death syndrome, right?
Yeah.
Where sometimes our babies, they've been born, they come home and then they just sleep and then they don't wake up.
They don't wake up, yeah.
And doctors have really, really tried to find out nini. And there are so many factors.
Yeah.
Hakuna cure, but they try and say, like kuna factor, for example, jaribu kulalisha mtoto wako akiangalia juu. Kuna vitu unaweza fanya, lakini hauwezi prevent kabisa, sindio?
That's true.
So, I remember talking to this lady and she told me, even true story, she didn't even know what I did for a living or what I did for work.
Yeah.
And then she told me ati kuna mama alikuja, akashika mtoto, alafu, akamweka chini akalala, na huyo mtoto hakuwa yoamka. You see now, we start to think ni huyo mama
alishika mtoto. Exactly. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, that's it. So, but over time, that's why I was telling you, the role of the media is very powerful.
Okay.
Sometimes it feels like you're not making progress, but educate. Keep educating.
Yeah.
Sindio, kuna mtu hakuwa anajua saa amesikia.
That's true.
So just for people to understand, it's purely health. Like miscarriages, half of them are chromosomal abnormalities. If we go back to our biology, form 2, form 3, tulipokuwa tunajaribu kusoma how, as zygote is formed, blah, blah, blah. Sikuna chromosomes from the dude, chromosomes
from the
from
guy,
the chick.
the
So
X and
basically, your
Y
body,
chromosomes.
exactly.
Yeah.
So basically, your body can tell when chenye tumetengeneza si normal. So what the body will do, it will remove. You know, so that's almost like a very big chunk of miscarriages are that. It has nothing to do with anything you did, or you didn't eat right, or you worked out too much, because also self-blame and guilt is a big, big thing for women.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just the body was like, this child may not live. So the body self-corrects, you see. There are conditions like blood pressure. You know, when we talk about preeclampsia, eclampsia, right? There are conditions you actually get only when you're pregnant. And then when you stop being pregnant, the body like
regulates.
Diabetes. Exactly.
Yeah.
So there are so many conditions, and all of them are health. They're health-based, you know. So we are getting to a place of understanding, oh, okay, it's that. And then that then affects how we support the person who's lost a baby.
Okay.
Yeah, because if we think that she's bewitched, nobody wants to go near her.
Yeah.
Iyo nyumba, but when we should be supporting and making sure she has good supporting systems, hakuna mtu ataenda kwa hiyo boma. Nilikuwa naambiwa that even people who are not allowed to kwenda baby showers, watoto wake wanakufanga. Can you imagine that statement?
Oh wow.
You know? Huyo mama atasikia huyo mama ashike mtoto wangu.
Yeah.
We, huyo pregnancy zake zote ziutoka. You know, it's such a,
in this day and age,
it's not a very nice. Yeah.
When you think that everyone has all the information at hand, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that someone can talk. And it's interesting that you have started getting into that conversation. So talk to us about the things that someone should tell someone who has lost a baby. You know, we as a society at times we become very, for lack of a better word, we are so out of touch with what someone else is feeling at a point of maybe a friend or a sister, your wife has lost a child. We don't know what to tell them. You know, unasikia mtu atasema, see, at least tunaweza get ball tena. Or you're still young, you'll get another one. Or, you know, some things are very insensitive. So what should you tell someone who has lost a baby? And what should you not tell someone when they have lost a child?
So first of all, I'm going to give us a guiding principle. Yeah. Imagine that they have lost a grown-up. Yeah. So zile vitu huwezi mwambia ati if she had lost her mother, you can't tell her she's young, she's going to get another mother.
Yeah.
You can't tell her that.
That's true.
So you guide them. Remember that somebody they love died. Period. It doesn't matter how old. Were they 2 weeks pregnant? Were they 3? Or the baby had only come home for 2 days. These only details. Yeah. Somebody
details,
they love died.
Yeah.
So that will tell you can never replace a person. See, like me, I'm really grateful God gave us another child. It's a boy, but even if she was a girl, we had even gotten a name for the other one. Ni watu tofauti. So hakuna mtu anaweza replace another human being. Si ndio? So wacha maneno za you will get another one, you are young, you have time, at least you know you can be pregnant.
Yeah.
Wachana na such comments. Yeah. And I know people come from a good place.
That's true.
It's very rare that somebody will tell you something hurtful on purpose. They're just trying to comfort you.
The best way they know how.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. When something bad happens, don't be in a hurry to switch on the light. Kaini kwa giza kidogo. Part of I advise you to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're close, visit. Sindio?
Yeah.
Visit. Tunaenda kuona msee mwenye amepata mtoi.
Exactly.
Tunaenda tunamtembelea, tunampelekea diapers.
Yeah.
Tunamwoshea vyombo, si ndio? Hatuendangi kukua mgeni ati sasa all of us wewe ndio unapikiwa chai, hapana.
Unaenda kusaidia.
Wapikie sapa, order some food for them,
Yeah.
or stock their fridge with some food, like look for ways you can really help.
Yeah.
In the event that it was a child that there needs to be a burial,
Yeah.
show up and help with logistics. If there's something you can do to unburden that person,
Yeah.
remove some decision making,
Yeah.
work with them. I will say fortunately, I have fortunately gotten the joy of working, not joy, but I've fortunately been there when, several, maybe some friends or people who know me through Still a Mom have lost a child, and they just need someone to go discharge the body at the morgue, pay bills. Unachukua tu ID yake, unafanya ma processes na yeye.
Yeah.
Sometimes they want to go view their baby's body, and they just need someone to stand next to them. So basically, I think what happens to us, honestly, is we really fear sadness, sad moments.
Yeah.
We really look for ways to avoid them and to bring some joy and light, but
Or
you see,
try
the
to
nature
make
of
the
life,
person forget. It's impossible.
yes, the nature of life
Yeah.
is that we are going to have both. We are going to come for weddings and we are going to dance.
That's true.
But we are also going to have funerals.
Yeah.
And that is life.
Yeah, that's life.
Yeah, so if you think about it like that, then you'll know what to do, mostly what to do and not what to say.
Yeah.
Katika harakati ya kuongea ndio utasema kitu offensive.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
let me give a disclaimer. Don't refuse to go because you're scared you're going to say the wrong thing. You'd rather just go
and just be there.
Like me, I remember to date, all these years down the line, I remember the people who showed up, and I don't mostly remember if they said something weird. It's those people who never came, and then I bumped into, and then they said something weird that I remember. So go. People will just be happy that you went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your presence means a lot.
A lot.
Okay. Let me quickly run through to our YouTube, the guys who are watching live. Thank you guys so much for your comments. So J Blue Music anasema locked kama kawa, asante sana. Wow. Beatrice, Nicolocked, thank you. Caroline is saying welcome back. Josephine, you're glowing. Oh, thank you very much. Nice to see you, Josephine, back. Oh, thank you, thank you. Let me first read the questions that are in. Okay, Caroline is saying, Wanjiru, you are such an inspiration. Glad Still a Mom is a place to support women and families who have lost their babies so soon. You are a phenomenal woman and you're doing a great job. That is from Caroline. Leah Odhiambo is saying, present to witness such a wonderful conversation. Thank you very much. Brad is asking, what's next after pregnancy loss? What should the woman and family do after losing a child so soon?
That's a good one. Yeah. Do you want me to answer that, or do you have any other one that you want me to answer together? You tell me.
Okay, just answer it as it comes as I peruse through the others.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is usually dependent on family. Yeah, there's no one size fits all.
Okay.
So some people feel like and this happens a lot. It happened to me too. It's like you want another baby now, like I don't know whether it's like a feeling for trying to replace. I'm not quite sure what the feeling is, but there's usually that mad desire to have another baby, but that might not be the very healthy way to go. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I have had a pregnancy after a loss, and I can tell you it is full of anxiety.
Yeah.
Every time you go to the washroom and you wipe, you are terrified to find blood.
Yeah.
Every time you go for a gynae's appointment and then they pack you that thing on your tummy, you're afraid they're going to tell you, Madam, I'm sorry, there's no heartbeat.
Yeah.
The pregnancy after loss is not, you're no longer innocent. You have had your heart broken before, so you are scared. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say, whatever, let some healing happen.
Okay. Take some time.
If she can see a counselor, take some time. Breathe.
Yeah.
Breathe. Physically, by the way, I remember my doctor told me, physically in 3 months, you're good. All they usually need is for you to have another period so that they can calculate the next pregnancy. They want your body to feel like it has reset.
Okay.
Let the body reset. But mentally, it takes a little longer than your physical.
Yeah.
So until you feel ready. And here I will say sometimes partners feel ready at different times. Yeah. I do remember my husband particularly. Alikuwa amesema by the story ya watoto tumefunga. Your story imeisha.
Yeah.
Imedie. You know. And me, on the other hand, I wanted a baby tomorrow, you see. But then over time, I realized he had encountered his wife have a difficult pregnancy. During when we lost the baby, I was so sick. They were trying to save my life. Like his wife almost died. Nilianjaribu kuiona from his perspective. So to be honest, he wasn't very happy about pregnancies.
Yeah.
So
he's also unpacking his own trauma for seeing all that happening. Yeah.
And so we know pregnancy si kitu ya kutrick mtu nayo na ati ku get pregnant hivyo peke yako without the buy-in of your other partner, right? It's even worse if you guys have gone through a loss and one of you hasn't processed. Because you remember, you have to be good parents to the person coming.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah.
So whatever you can do to make sure that that couple, not that woman, that couple is supported.
Okay.
Because both of them need to process.
Okay. I hope, Brad, that question has been answered. Leah Odhiambo is saying, Josephine, I see you. Nice to have you back. Thank you very much. Steve Biko is saying, maboy lazima tuchochane. Bro asiingie depression. Ambia boys vitu poa ndio zinakuja. Wewe ni strong. So I think that was just supporting the boy child comment as well. Yeah, that's a very good comment. Beatrice is asking, after the loss of a baby, how long should it take for a mother to get pregnant again? And is this a way of therapy too? I think you've answered the first part of that question. She's asking, is this a way of therapy too? I think that what you were talking about replacing.
Yeah, it is a form of therapy because I have to say there's a joy. Like when I held my son, man, the way you feel. I felt like I'm a Christian, so it felt like God had truly restored where, that void. So, but it should not be used as the only therapy. Go in as a healthy mom mentally and physically before you decide to get pregnant again. Because you see, the new pregnancy will come with its own challenges, and you want to try your best to be. You will not be at your 100%, because even me, many years down the line, healing takes time. But at least go in feeling like you've not true. Here's the thing. During pregnancy, mothers feel more. The husband enjoys the baby once they are born, right? But from the day they get pregnant, this mother has been carrying. She has her own reasons. Like I have said, at Missouri, I already gave an example of me and my husband, and it was the other way around. There's a reason why she's afraid. People just need to communicate. Achana na my expectations. See, me, I wanted to get pregnant that time. If I hadn't understood my husband, that would just be a conflict.
That's true.
Right there. And I want to say, I had to encourage myself every day until he was ready. It was not easy. So in this case, I would request the patience of her spouse and try and get to the root cause of what is exactly that is causing her so much. Why is she scared? So create an environment where people feel like they can talk without being judged.
All right.
I know, like let her know, babe, ile time uko ready kuongea, nitakuwa hapa na nitakusikiza na sitakuforce. Then atafungua roho. Then utajua, ndio hiyo kitu. What can we do to make it better for you? So it's not just pushing wewe hautaki mtoto kwa nini.
You both have to be ready.
And then like be a partner that partners. You know that term, partner? Sindio? Be a partner.
Okay. Beatrice is asking, do we have enough support system as a country to support women who have lost their babies so soon? I think we answered that question at the beginning. Ambia Haji is saying Shujaa wangu ni okay. Okay, we'll get back to the questions or the comments as they come. All right. Okay, I think I'll read the other comments as we wind up this, after we wind up this conversation, but those are the questions that had come in from our viewers. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for the questions that you have sent in. And Wanjiru, as we wind up this conversation, so maybe you can tell us the impact that Still a Mom has had thus far since 2015, as we close this conversation.
Other than, we have worked with over 5,000 people. And in Kenya, we've gotten the privilege to support parents also from 5 other countries in Africa. But beyond that, I have seen a change in attitude. And I think that's the one that I'm most grateful for. The fact that now we are several organizations who are doing this. We've done some trainings with midwives and medical professionals on how to support somebody who's lost a baby. You know, right there in the hospital, before you discharge them, what can you do? How can you be kinder, more compassionate? And I've seen a change in attitude, you know? And I think that's my biggest win. That's when I think about measuring success, that for me is a win. To meet a midwife who first asked me, mama mwenye amepoteza mtoto wake ashakufa, anaweza taka aje kumuona. Then you take them through training and then they realize, oh, it's important for her. For closure. To see her baby. Exactly. If she needs to take some photos, if you can even give her some privacy. Easy vitu si za wazungu. It's actually good for her mental well-being. Mkipatana nae the next antenatal clinic, you'll be happy you did it because she processed. So just, I think for me, that is the impact I am most proud of. The change of heart, the change of mind, you know? And because whenever we are confronted with any new knowledge, we are allowed to change our mind. That's a mark of a mature person, right? I didn't know this, now I know this. And because of that, I am thinking differently, you know?
Exactly. You gain another perspective as well.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you so much, Wanjiru, for even taking the time. Before I let you go, maybe someone is watching this show. They have a friend, they have a sister who is going through, you know, the emotions right now. They have lost a child. Maybe it's very recent, and they don't have any finances or something. How would you direct them to, or what other organizations can you direct them to go to?
So for starters, I would tell them, like, we have a support group online. There's a Facebook page called Still a Mom Support Group. Hapo we do peer-to-peer support. But we also have the people that moderate the group themselves are trained.
All right.
And
trained
we also
counselors?
have referral systems. Yes, they are trained, and we have referral systems where, for example, if you're feeling overwhelmed, the peer group is not meeting the needs you want. You want a bit extra, some help. They are actually counselors that we've even added their phone numbers and details on the Facebook group, where you know you can reach so and so, give them a call, arrange a session. Additionally, I have also shared those, you know, those organizations that I've talked about, those that you can call, you can go to CTAM, so that you can have a wide range of stuff to choose from. We are not pointing to ourselves that we are the only ones who can solve your problem. That's not true. There are so many resources out there. And even sometimes you might find your church, you know, some people don't live in Nairobi. What in your area can you utilize? So that's what I tell them.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us, Wanjiru. Kuna mtu anauliza hapa, Steve anauliza, anasema congratulations team Eastlands Expressions, naona tuko majuu. Kihusa ana to join from Someone thinks you're abroad.
Yes, actually, I live in Dubai.
Oh, nice. Nice. Leo tuko Dubai. Tumeenda majuu. Thank you so much, Wanjiru. We are totally grateful.
Pleasure.
We are totally grateful that you have actually taken the time to educate and raise more awareness on this very particular, very important issue. I'm being told
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm being told you are at the Dubai Expo.
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah? Maybe you want to mention a few things about your experience there, what you were up to.
I'm really happy with the Kenya Pavilion. So the expo is very beautiful. Anybody who's traveling to Dubai for a visit, anaweza hakikisha squeeze in kutembea to the expo.
Yeah.
It's it's amazing, but I'm also very impressed with the Kenya team.
Oh,
Nilienda
wow.
kutembea huko nikasikia Mkenya sana. Nilikuwa like,
You are
hey,
proud.
hii
You're like,
pavilion yetu
yay,
iko
I'm Team
poa.
Kenya.
Very proud, very proud.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time and even what you're doing, raising this awareness and supporting ladies and women who are going through such a traumatic time of their lives. You know, it's important. And so we
All
are
right, thank you so much.
celebrating you as Island's Expressions, and you are our Shiro of the week.
Oh, thank you. That is very kind of you guys.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing that you're doing. You know, we don't take it lightly. And we really celebrate the work that you're doing. And keep on shining a light to those who need it most.
Asante sana. Bye.
All right, bye. Salimia watu Dubai.
Salimiana.
Yes, sawa. Thank you. All right, that is Wanjiru Kihusa. She's joining us from Dubai, and she's a founder and CEO of Still a Mom. You can check out the organization. She has said that there's a support group on Facebook. So if you know a lady who has recently lost a child or has had a miscarriage, you can direct them there, and they might get the support that they need. They don't need to walk this journey alone.